Given all the attention that the new Us movie is getting, I decided to go ahead and do a quick analysis on it, or at least I'm hoping it's going to be quick. So if you take the movie at its face value, it doesn't really make too much sense. There are too many discrepancies with the whole cloning thing, but if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, it does start making a lot more sense. So I see the movie as a way for the director to depict the concept of fighting our shadow selves or uniting our conscious and subconscious mind, or the constant battle between the conscious and subconscious, the spiritual and the shadow sides of us. The movie starts with a little girl watching television. And to me, television is a symbol of that mass programming. Our fears, our views, our beliefs are usually shaped by society, by mass media, so on and so forth. So television to me is a sign that this girl is getting shaped by what she sees on television. Then we see this girl go to a carnival with her parents. And her mom actually mentions something about her daughter getting traumatized by something she saw on TV. And when the girl's dad wins a prize, the girl wants a Michael Jackson's Thriller shirt. Now, to me, it's a symbol that the girl is starting to absorb some of the darker, I guess, aspects of reality by watching television, by getting programmed by what she sees. And also, it could be a reference to the zombified masses. Now, the girl is holding a candy apple, which is a symbol of not only forbidden knowledge, but also temptation. And she starts basically wandering off from her parents, and she sees a man holding a sign that says Jeremiah 11:11. Now, I'm not a Christian, so I had to look it up, and that's what this particular quote says. Therefore, this is what the Lord says: I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they'll cry out to me, I will not listen to them. 11:11 is usually associated with spiritual awakening, like your subconscious mind trying to communicate with your conscious mind for one reason or another. It's basically a wake-up call for an individual or humanity. To me, this means that if you're not going to wake up, if you're not going to own up to your shadow self, if you're not going to face reality, if you're not going to unite all aspects of yourself and change yourself, then you're headed for disaster. And I believe it was in Moraviov's Gnosis where he was talking about uniting the opposites, or uniting all aspects of yourself, of your personality, before you're headed for a disaster. So the little girl ends up seeing this attraction that's called Find Yourself. And it's obviously going within, a symbol of going within to find who you truly are. And she goes in, she sees a bunch of mirrors, which are obviously just different aspects of herself, a reflection of herself. And then an owl, which is a symbol of the hidden, the symbol of the hidden knowledge. So the girl ends up seeing another version of herself, which freaks her out. Then we see a bunch of caged rabbits. Rabbits are a symbol of the unconscious mind, and also, as a lot of the reviews have mentioned, it represents duality because of the ears. Same thing goes for the scissors in the movie, but it's not really important. The important part is the subconscious or unconscious mind, going deep within. So then we see the girl all grown up on a vacation with her family, but she doesn't feel at ease. She keeps seeing those synchronicity symbols. She sees the 11:11 on the clock. She sees the man with the Jeremiah 11:11 sign being wheeled into an ambulance, clearly deceased. So she definitely senses that shadow side, or that other aspect of herself is about to reemerge, and she's going to have to face it. She's going to have to fight it or do something about it. Then we basically know what happened. Those shadow people, or the clones, they emerge and they try to take over. All of them are wearing red suits. Red suits to me is a symbol of the physical, of the material, of anything mundane, of the sin, basically everything that keeps us our spirit trapped in the material, our desire to have material things, our desire for sex, our desire for food, our desire for whatever superficial stuff. So scissors, as I mentioned, a symbol of duality, again pointing to the fact that those people are not really clones. They're the shadow self of everyone, basically, of all the people. If you think about it, it would be impossible to clone everyone in the city and keep them trapped underground, feeding on rabbits. Like that's ridiculous. So it's obviously symbolic. It's an allegory. It's a metaphor. Those people aren't actually clones. They're the shadow side that lives in all of us. We all have a dark side, we all have a shadow side. We just pretend it's not there. We play those social games where we pretend to be good Christians, good people. We do selfless acts so everyone can applaud us and think we're good people. But in all actuality, we all have that dark side. And instead of facing that dark side, instead of trying to work it out, we just kind of suppress it and pretend it's not there. And if you remember in the movie, when the main character was talking to her shadow, the shadow said, "I wonder what would have happened if instead of keeping me down here or suppressing me, you would just owned up to it and we kind of emerged together." So the movie is about learning to control your shadow side, or learning to coexist with your shadow side, learning to unite your conscious and unconscious to become a whole united, I guess, individual. So the shadow side of everyone starts to come out because they've been suppressed for so long. If you suppress your darkest desires, if you suppress your, I guess, darkest thoughts, there'll come a day where it will all come out to the surface. And that's what the clones, quote unquote, said in the movie, that they want to live, they want to have what the people on the surface have. If you're going to continue to suppress your shadow side instead of working your traumas or working out your issues, then one day it will come out and it will cause disaster, and it can take over your personality. So there were a few scenes in the movie where you could tell that one of the kids, I forgot what the little boy's name was, but you see that he was probably taken over by his shadow a long time ago, because you can see his mom being really freaked out when that clone ends up dying in the fire. She's clearly in distress. She didn't want him to die. So I guess she realized that at some point her son was taken over by a shadow as well. And then we see a scene with the main character and her shadow fighting, and at the same time we see like the scenes of the little girl dancing. So again, it shows you the battle between your conscious and unconscious mind, between your shadow and your main personality. We also see the main character's shadow or her clone wearing a glove on her right hand. Now, the right hand is controlled by the left side of the brain. The left side of the brain is the conscious mind, it's the logical, analytical. And that right away should have told us that the shadow and the, I guess, the core personality or what's on the surface switched because the other girl was more artistic. She was dancing, and that's the right side of your brain that's responsible for artistic expression and conscious mind. So it tells us that conscious and unconscious mind switched. So instead of trying to work things out with her shadow side, with her conscious side, then conscious mind ends up prevailing. So whatever the shadow, the traumas, whatnot, ends up prevailing and taking over that whole personality. And I think the same thing kind of happened to her son, and her son holding a rabbit and putting a mask on is a representation of that he's actually a shadow that wears a mask, pretending to be, quote unquote, a good boy. So the Hands Across America thing, after the clones take over the hosts, or after the shadow side takes over the core personality, we see them line up and hold their blood-soaking hands together to protest inhumane treatment of the clones, which was a reference to the beginning of the movie, where we saw an actual commercial from the 80s for Hands Across America, which was a way to protest hunger in America. And you see the irony here. We created hunger in America. We created all the issues, basically our greed and lust to have materialistic things. And then instead of doing something that actually solves the issue, like having less children or saying no to the rules and regulations set up by the greedy governments, let's put it that way, or anything else, we go along with it. We consent to it. We pretend that we care, but we don't actually care. We don't really care about hunger. We don't really care about homeless. If we care, we would have did something about it. But we prefer to do something ridiculous and symbolic, like hold our hands, as if that's going to solve the issue, which it won't. The only way to solve the issue is actually do something about it. Maybe stop being so materialistic.